What's up, everybody? This is a live chat that I'm doing, a live stream where you can ask me anything you want about WordPress. Just feel free to put your questions within the chat box. My name is Joel. I'm the founder of PixemWeb.com, and I create the videos to help people who code for WordPress here on YouTube, and also how to build and code and maintain a WordPress-powered website. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask them away, and I'll do my best to make sure I answer those. All right, let me see if I can pop out these the chat box here. This is my first live stream for YouTube, so I'm playing around with the settings, making sure everything looks okay. Let's see what we have. So again, if you want to just ask me whatever it is you want to ask, just feel free to go ahead and do that. Pretty much what I will cover is if you have any WordPress specific questions, like what text editor you should be using and why. Hey, Brett, how you doing? Thanks for joining the live stream. This is my first time creating one of these, so just let me know if the audio settings are correct and how the video quality is doing. I'm using Open Broadcaster software, so I'm testing out these settings here. But if you have any questions on WordPress, just let me know. You can ask me pretty much anything in terms of coding for WordPress, whether it's a theme or if it's plugin related, or what text editor is ideal. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Good to see you. This is my first live stream. I've watched a bunch of yours, and you definitely motivated me to get over here and do some live streaming myself. But good, yeah. I'm just checking out the settings for Open Broadcaster. I'm using a multi-display setup here, so I have the chat box opened up in a different window, and I'm also using two displays over here just in case we need to do any screen captures for anything related to WordPress. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. You could ask me anything based on what tools do I use when I'm coding, what platform do I feel is the best to code with, and what things a coder or somebody new to coding for WordPress should be focused on in the beginning. So feel free to ask and let me know how it goes. Hey, Mamadou, nice to see you. Thanks for joining the live stream. Again, just don't want to overly repeat myself, but I'm doing a live stream where you could ask me pretty much anything related to WordPress. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. But basically what I'll do is I'll just wait to see if we get some more people joining the live stream, and I'll just talk generally about WordPress. As we know, WordPress is a very popular content management system. It's used by a lot of bloggers, Fortune 500 companies, and small businesses and realtors, and anyone looking to have a website online. Now, one thing I like about WordPress is the fact that you completely own your content versus any of the other platforms. You might have difficulty if you wanted to migrate, if you wanted to have more control over the monetization of your website. WordPress completely gives you full control. So let's see. Ricky has a question. What industry have you found as for WordPress sites, if any? Well, actually, I started coding back in the day with just HTML and CSS, and then added on JavaScript and PHP and MySQL. And I started just doing pretty much regular type of websites, right? So I found that a lot of my first clients wanted a WordPress-powered website. And at first, I wasn't sold on it because I knew how to code everything from scratch. But realizing that enough people wanted it, I started playing around with it, and I found that pretty much everyday bloggers want to use WordPress. I've done websites for everyday bloggers. I've done websites for realtors who want a real estate focused type website with IDX integration. And I've done websites for lawyers and pretty much everybody in between. I haven't done any Fortune 500 type websites yet for companies, but I've done pretty much small business type websites and everyday blogging type websites. Tax Action just joined us, and Mizu Geek just joined us from Morocco, so thank you for joining the live chat. I'm doing these live streams because I want to be able to interact with people who have subscribed to the channel, and I've been inspired to do these by Ricky Garcia. He's actually on this live stream with us. Definitely check out his channel. He does a lot of great videos on, what it's like learning how to develop or code, for web development purposes. So definitely check out his channel. Ricky Garcia is definitely, doing some pretty cool stuff on his channel. But let me see some of the questions here. I just subbed to your channel last week. You have helped me a lot. Thanks, man. Tax Action, thank you very much for that. Pretty much the types of videos that you can find on my channel are all going to be related towards WordPress, coding for WordPress, and some of the tools that I recommend. And if you're not a coder, I also have videos on some of the best WordPress themes you should be using, some of the best plugins and how to set them up, things on how to manage your WordPress powered website. So does anybody have any questions specific to WordPress theme development, plugin development, coding for WordPress, or anything of that nature? Again, just put it into the chat section and I'll be taking a look at that. I'm using this broadcasting software that I'm getting more familiar with, and I'm going to be jumping back and forth between screens to make sure that I have everything situated the way I want. All right, so we have a question from Tax Action. Was I wrong to use OceanWP theme using Elementor to build it up? Well, to be honest with you, I haven't worked with Elementor yet. I haven't really played around with too many page builders since I pretty much do everything straight up from code. So what I can say is OceanWP is a very good theme. OceanWP is well respected within the WordPress community. It's one of the most popular themes you can use. If you go to the, let me go over here. I'm going to go to another browser here. Let me bring in a browser window. See how this is going to work. We'll go to the theme section. We'll just go right here. Type in OceanWP. If you look over here, you see that it has 80,000 active installations, and it is very well rated. It has 294 5-star reviews with only 1 4-star. So that tells you that OceanWP is a very good theme to use. Let me just get the live chat window back here. What I'll do is I will check to see if Elementor works well with WP. I plan on checking out Elementor at some point to see how it works and maybe do some videos on it in terms of reviews of Elementor, because I see a lot of people like that specifically, and I'll see how it interacts with some of the most popular themes that you'll find on the WordPress repository. So I'll check that out. And Tax Action, I'll let you know what I find, in the upcoming days or weeks when I start working with this more. All right, so we have, I apologize if I don't get your names correct, but I am going to do my best here. We have Wahid Julistani has just joined. How to change the design of a WordPress theme and how to code own design on WordPress. Well, to change the design of a WordPress theme, pretty much what I recommend doing is making a child theme. So if you're going to be customizing a theme to do something different, whether it's for the design purposes or for functionality, what you should do is create a child theme. And I did do a video. Let me bring that up over here as well. I'll try to bring up my channel. Let me see real quick what we have here. I'm going to bring up one of my videos that I did on creating a child theme. So if we look over here, Where did I do that one? Right here, this video right here, how to create a WordPress child theme tutorial. So check out that video, because in that one I show you the process of creating a child theme. That is the best way to go about customizing a theme with added functionality or styling that will give you something that's safe, because you don't want to edit the code of a theme that you haven't developed, because if the theme developer updates the theme, you're going to lose all your custom code. So when you create a child theme, your code is protected. So that's definitely something you're going to want to do. And let's see, when you're coding the theme, you're also going to want to make sure you're using a good text editor. So the text editor that I use is Atom, which is free and open source. And I also use Visual Studio Code, which is also a very good text editor. Now, I do use PHP Storm when I want to do more robust type WordPress work, because it has a couple of features that are really handy. So that's something you may want to check out. All right, let's see. Ricky has a question. I'm always looking a group expand my skill set for WordPress. Which should you learn first, MySQL or PHP? Well, when it comes to WordPress, the first thing I would recommend doing is learning PHP, because that is the programming language or the web development language that WordPress uses by default. Now, you're also learning, based on your channel, you're learning React. So React is great because the future of WordPress is going to be incorporating more and more JavaScript, and they're using React in terms of development. So you're definitely on the right track with React for your development training. Now, in terms of MySQL, I definitely think it's highly recommended you learn MySQL, but you're going to find that WordPress comes with a bunch of different ways to interact with the database directly. So you're not going to be creating your custom MySQL code. You're going to be using some of the code that comes already pre-coded by WordPress for interacting with the database. And I actually have another video in the pipeline that I'm going to be shooting very soon, talking about the database and how it works with WordPress, and what you should know about it, how the loop functions, and what's the safe way to work with WordPress. So let me see how this is looking over here. Just want to make sure everything's looking okay. Let's go back over here. All right, so pretty much that's it. You want to focus on PHP. JavaScript is going to be very important. And, MySQL is, important as well, but you're going to be working with most of the WordPress code. All right, so Mamadou has a question: what we should do for making our fully functional own design with underscore base theme. All right, so if you go back, let me go over here to the display left. I'm going to bring this over a little bit. So if you look over here, this is one of my videos that I have where I'm teaching people how to code for WordPress. So you're definitely going to want to, check that out. This is a pretty long video, and I actually have another playlist that I'm going to be working on soon, where I'm updating all the code for DevWP. It's my development training theme that I use Underscores as a starter theme, and I use Bootstrap 4, and I show people how to integrate the code from Bootstrap with Underscores, so you can create your own custom WordPress theme, and you can use it to put up on WordPress.org, or you can sell your theme on your website, things of that nature. So definitely check out this video that I created and learn how to code a WordPress theme. And it's using DevWP, which is my development theme. So definitely check that out. Let me just get some water over here. See, Ramsey Jordan says, what's up to Ricky? All right, so Visual Studio. Visual Studio is Visual Studio's or code, because when I go over here, open up the code editor, Visual Studio Code is an awesome text editor. It comes with a bunch of features that definitely you will be using when it comes to coding, whether it's for WordPress or if it's for any project you're working with. Another one that I use is the Atom text editor, as I mentioned before. Bring that right here. And this is what I use as well, because it's definitely something that is definitely going to be helpful when you're coding a theme or when you're coding in general, because it comes with a lot of different features. So you see here, this is the text editor, and you have a bunch of functionality that's going to be helpful when you're coding, and you can extend it with different add-ons or modules and stuff. So definitely Visual Studio Code or Atom is going to be a great way to go if you're looking for a free solution. And trust me, they will get you pretty much where you need to go. Let me see, Don Creamy, thanks for joining. Have I used Vagrant yet? No, I haven't. I haven't used Vagrant, but I plan on checking it out. Now, when I'm doing my local development, what I do is I've been using for years MAMP, which is something I've been using on my Mac computer, my MacBook Pro when I started off with that. And now on my custom built PC, I use MAMP. But I just recently started using local by Flywheel. So I did a video over here, how to use local by Flywheel and set it up for WordPress development. Now, one thing I like about local by Flywheel is it gives you some functionality you don't get with some other solutions. So definitely check it out if you're looking for an alternative to MAMP or WAMP or XAMPP or things of that nature. But I'll definitely be taking a look at Vagrant as a solution. Definitely be taking a look at that. Let me see. Mamadou says, I have already done it, but the designs still have to be attractive. Yes, exactly. So now the thing is, when you're doing a starter theme for yourself, now with DevWP, what I did was created a combination of Bootstrap with Underscores as an enhanced starter theme that you could use for your general project. So just to give you an idea of what it can look like, let me start up local by Flywheel over here. And I will show you what the beta version of the next generation of DevWP will look like. It's going to take a minute to start up, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Let me do the center screen. This is local by Flywheel. I'm setting that up now. It's going to start my local machine. So we'll give that a second. Let me jump back to the questions. All right, I'll bring the questions over here so it's not distracting. All right, so basically what I wanted to do with DevWP is create a starter theme that you could use. And then based on the project you're working on, you would add the different types of styling or functionality you want for it. So let's say you wanted to, change the colors around. You can change it up with the CSS, or you can create some different types of color schemes that you could use within the customizer. And that's going to be coming up in the next generation version or the next version of DevWP, where I customize the actual code for the customizer so you can gain more control over the way the styling looks. All right, so let's see. I'm in the process of verifying my site on Google Console today. Just need to sort out the XML site mapping. Do I need to use Google Analytics dashboard? Also, is there no need? All right, so for the XML site mapping, what you can use is Yoast SEO has a good XML capability, or you can use let me go over here. Let me switch the screen to the left. You can go to, let's go right here, plugins. Google XML Sitemaps, this one right here. It's active in over 2 million plus active installations. This is something that's a little bit different than Yoast SEO, because this is focused on just one specific aspect of sitemaps. So I definitely recommend it, because sometimes you don't need an overarching site plugin that handles a bunch of things, but maybe you want something that's more fine-tuned. Now, if you're using Yoast SEO, and I use Yoast SEO, you may want to just stick with that, because that has the sitemap capabilities already built in. But if you go here, let me open up another link. There, go look for Yoast. And you can see some of the features it has. It already has XML sitemaps functionality at the push of a button already set up. So I do have a video, let me see, on Yoast SEO. So if we go over here, these are some of my videos. I have a video that I did, must have did it, oh, I guess a while ago. But yeah, this one right here, Yoast SEO tutorial 2017. I should probably do another one because they've had a couple of updates. But in this video, I show you how to set up Yoast SEO. So you may want to check that video out. And I know I did a Google XML one maybe a year and a half ago when I first started doing these videos. But some of those videos, I have to remake them because, I've come a long way from my first videos. I have some really hysterical videos that I created a long time ago if you want to check them out. And they're hysterical not in terms of comedy related, but in terms of, recording. I'm not video editor or videographer by trade. I'm more of a coder. So it took me some time to be able to learn how to properly do these videos. But definitely check it out. See how that works out for you. But for XML, sitemaps, Yoast SEO, and Google XML are going to be good options. All right, so let's go back to the display center here. All right, so we're there. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to start this site. Start. And now we can go to view sites. Let me bring that over here. Let's see if that comes up. All right, so this is DevWP, and I'm getting ready to do a full video tutorial update on this because it's adding a bunch of different types of functionality that's currently not demonstrated within the other DevWP videos. So as you can see, we have the hero image in the top. We have the drop-down menu there. Scroll to top. We have built-in support for all of these social media networks. Now, I don't use all of them, but some people might find that they want to integrate in their site some of these social media icons and tools. So I have that there as well. Let me see. Let me go over here. Let's log into the back end. Let me pull up the chat section again just in case. All right, so I'm going to log in over here. And let's see. All right, so let me see what we have here. All right, so we go to the appearance and customize. It's going to have the next version of DevWP will have the theme options. So you can have responsive fixed width, container. So instead of it being edge to edge, you can have that. You can have fixed nav bar or standard nav bar. So I'm working on that code as we speak. And then we're going to be integrating some additional settings as well. So definitely take a look at it. DevWP is my training theme. And, it's going to always be evolved. So let's see what other questions we have. Do you have any tutorial videos for building your first WordPress site? From Ramsey Jordan. All right, so let me go back over here. Display left. All right, so in terms of building your website with code, I have the theme, the DevWP theme, but I also did a video how to make a WordPress website. Now, this video is, I created that one to guide people in the process of, how to buy your domain name, how to do the one-click installation of WordPress, through your control panel of your web hosting provider, and how to choose a theme, how to install the plugins, and things of that nature. It's a 1 hour video, so it's long as well, but it's not as long as some of the other videos that you might find out there. But there's a bunch of other channels that have some good videos as well. When it comes to how to build a website with WordPress, I'm going to be doing another video probably within the next month or so. There's going to be an updated video towards that one. So I have that, and that might be something you might find helpful. Let me see. Mizo Geek, I'm just starting to learn web development. Do you recommend to learn WordPress or just focus on JavaScript, Node.js, React? Because I want to do some freelance work. All right, so give me 1 second. Gonna get some water. As a freelancer, what you're gonna find is you're gonna have to wear many hats. So you're gonna want to learn as much as you possibly can. You're gonna want to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and of course PHP, since you're going to be using dynamic server-side language. And eventually you might want to learn how to work with MySQL directly. But in terms of using WordPress and being a freelancer, you're gonna want to start off slow. So what I typically recommend people do if you're just starting off in web design and development and you want to learn how to code, but you also want to make money immediately, you're going to want to, first learn how to work with WordPress. Download it to your computer, work with it locally, make sure you understand how it operates. You're going to want to see how to install a theme, how to install plugins, how to probably configure a WordPress-powered website, things of that nature. So, I definitely recommend you learn locally and then identify a couple of different, themes that you want to work with directly. So you may want to learn how to use the Genesis framework, which is a great framework to work with. Or you may want to specialize in a couple of other themes like Ocean WP or things of that nature. So first learn how to use those, set them up properly, and then also learn how to use the best plugins for WordPress. And I have a video over here, the top 10 WordPress plugins for 2018. And I did one in 2017 as well. So there are some different plugins that I recommend now this year than I did last year. Take a look at that video, learn how to set those plugins up. You're going to find that the general plugins you're going to want to work with are going to be security-based plugins like iTheme Security, WordFence as well. You're going to want to work with SEO plugin like Yoast SEO. You're going to want to work with some optimization plugins like database optimization plugin for WP Sweep, or maybe image optimization plugin like Smush It WP, which is by WPMU. You can also want to check out, working with some cache plugins like WP Fastest Cache, and also the Auto Optimize plugin, which is also really good. So first learn how to use those so you can start setting up websites. You could be in the beginning phase more of a WordPress consultant than a coder. So you can still make money. You can charge, once you fully know what you're doing, you can charge justifiably, a couple $100, $500, even like $1,000 if you're doing a full-on customization or custom installation of WordPress for a person. Small business, may not have the time to learn how to put together a WordPress-powered website themselves. So they'll be more than willing to hire someone who knows what they're doing. But I definitely recommend learning how WordPress works first by testing it out on your computer. Download a local server like MAMP or Local by Flywheel, and play around with it, see how it operates. But let's see. All right, Tax Action says he's setting up Yoast. Okay, so that's great. That's going to be perfect. What's up, Anton? Thanks for joining the live stream. Ramsey says thanks. You're welcome. I don't mind long videos that have detailed content. Yeah, that's something I've been playing around with. If you look at my channel, let me make sure I'm still on that screen. Yes. All right, so if you look at my channel, I do a bunch of videos, and I've done different types of videos in terms of their timing. Some are shorter, and then you have some that are very long. And I've always, wanted to figure out, or have been going back and forth on what's the best way to do these videos. Is it better to do one long video, like I've done over here with this one over here, learn how to code a WordPress theme, or is it better to do smaller videos, very targeted and specific, and put it into a playlist? So if you go to my playlist over here, you see what I have there. So I have a bunch of playlists that I've been working on. But, definitely check them out. I've done some videos that are shorter than others. But what I found as a YouTube creator, and I'm still relatively new to this, I'm still a small creator, so I'm learning as I go. What I've found is that the algorithm will favor longer videos, that has a lot of content built into it. Of course, there's a bunch of other metrics that goes into it, like watch time and social sharing, signals, things of that nature. But that's something that I've noticed, that longer videos tend to outperform shorter videos. Like, look at this one over here. Learn how to, this one, 11,000 views, versus some of my other ones are shorter. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe doing a bunch of short videos and then putting them out there in a playlist, and then creating from that a larger playlist as well. So so I've been trying to figure out what's the best way to do these videos. What is my opinion on the Google Analytics dashboard plugin? I did a video on that one a long time ago as well, so I probably got to redo that one. It's a great plugin. If you want to see the analytics directly within your dashboard, and instead of having to log into Google, go into the analytics dashboard in another browser, you can see everything right within your dashboard. So that's pretty cool. And that's easy to do. You can go straight over here, plugins, add new, Google Analytics dashboard. See if I spelled that right. All right, so this is a great plugin. You can look at more details. It's active on over 1 million plus installations, has a bunch of positive reviews, recently updated. It's a really good plugin to check out, and it puts everything directly within your dashboard, so that helps out as well. It's depends on how you want to operate. There's obviously going to be some limitations opposed to using the native Google Analytics dashboard in a different browser. But the convenience of having it on your site, is definitely helpful. All right, so let me see. MD Anwar Hossein has joined. Thanks for joining the live stream. Tell me something about WordPress future. All right, so the future of WordPress is going to be integrating more JavaScript, obviously, in particular with React. So definitely, if you're looking to learn how to code for WordPress, JavaScript and React are definitely something you want to definitely work with. And then PHP is going to still be there forever, because I don't see how they'll change the entire code base to actually, I don't think I had that screen visible. So this is the Google Analytics for dashboard. Definitely check that out. But I don't see how they would change it for change all PHP code to JavaScript. So I definitely think PHP is going to be there for the long term. In terms of the future, Gutenberg is right around the corner. It's supposed to be fully integrated soon, and I did a preview video on that. Let me see. When did I do that? I did a video on Gutenberg and my interpretation of it to see how it works. I don't know. I did it somewhere around here. Let me see. What's new? But Gutenberg is going to be the future of WordPress in terms of the editor. So if you go over here, and if you go to posts, if you go to edit a post, this is how the standard editor works. But if you want to use, let's say if you want to use Gutenberg now, you can test it out. I'm on that screen, good. Let's see. Did I spell this right? Because there's, so here we go, Gutenberg right there. So you can install this now. And then it gives you a different look and feel for the editor. It becomes more drag and drop. So if you go over, let's go back to the post, all posts. Now let's go edit, instead of the standard editor that we've already come to know, we have this type of editor. So developing for this is going to be a little bit different. It gives it almost page builder-like functionality, and it's going to be easier. You're going to see this type of way to create, content on a website, coming up soon when they update it to be integrated with the core of WordPress. This is something you'll see on Medium a lot. You'll see this in some other website type platforms out there, but it's going to be what the future is going to be about. And actually in DevWP, I already have some basic functionality already set up for Gutenberg. So, I'm already been on the lookout for that because it's something that obviously is right around the corner and we're going to have to, be ready for. So I'll do some more videos on that, once I get as the development of the new core functionality comes about. So let me see, Anton has joined the live stream. Thanks for joining. I have one question. When you create a WordPress theme, do you use Bootstrap or MDB? Thanks for your work. It really helped me in the last months. Pretty much what I like to do is I do like to use Bootstrap. And why do I like to use Bootstrap? Because it has pretty much everything you need. So especially if you're going to be starting off or if you want to have a bunch of different functionality that you may not want to code by hand. So you go to Bootstrap and they have the documentations over here. You can look at the layout options, look at the components, and you're not stuck with this stuff. So a lot of people say, well, there's a bunch of stuff there that, I definitely don't like the styling. Maybe I want to change things around. You could always change things around. Like I always customize pretty much everything. Like the drop down here is not default for a drop down. There's a bug there, so I got to fix that. But pretty much when you normally drop down, if you look at the examples with the, let me see the nav bar. When you hover over, okay, so they don't have a drop down there. Let's go here. When you hover over, it's click to drop down. So that, I've never been a true fan of in terms of having to click it to drop down. So I created the hover drop down. And I did that with custom code that I demonstrate within the video on how to code a theme with Bootstrap and Underscores. So the code is there, and the video, again, is this one, and I have some other ones as well. So I like using Bootstrap. Now, if I don't use Bootstrap, I can just use, custom CSS or custom JavaScript. That's fine, but that's going to be project specific. And to keep the price down of a project and time down, because time is money, you're going to want to work with some, already pre-configured tools. And Bootstrap is definitely helpful for that. Foundation's another good one. If you want something more lightweight, you can use Skeleton, which is really cool. And there's a couple of other ones out there as well. So definitely check those out. All right, so let me see what we have here. Let me, again, if you have any questions, let me know what they are, and I'm more than happy to answer them. We've been about 38 minutes here, so this is my first live stream. So, this is something I'm going to be incorporating more within my YouTube video creation. So whatever questions you have, let me make sure I didn't miss over anybody's questions here. Let me see. If anybody wants me to take a look at their websites, if they already have a live website, and if they need some help, or if they want me to just look at how their website's functioning, just let me know. Don't put in the URL directly, because I believe YouTube is not a fan of direct URLs within comments. They might consider it like a spam type action, but you could give me the name of your website and I'll just Google it and get to it from that point. Anton says, thanks for your answer, really helpful. No problem, man. I know that, it's when I first started out coding, I learned by reading all the books and watching some, tutorials. and just by trial and error. So I did everything from HTML, CSS, learned the JavaScript and all the, code for web development. And, I wanted to do everything from scratch because that's kind of like a badge of honor to be able to do everything from scratch. But what you're going to find is that if you're taking on a lot of clients, your time management is going to be something you have to get a handle of. So, time management is something you're going to have to get control of. I'm just looking at some of the comments here, so if I seem distracted, don't mind me. I'm just making sure I don't miss anything. So working with WordPress gives you the ability to hand over a website easily to a client. And working with Bootstrap, if you're coding a theme, helps you create front-end designs with a lot of advanced functionality faster, which helps you reduce the cost, which is important because I'm a loner, so I do everything myself. I'm a one-person shop. So, I do the development, the design, the installation, the security, the optimization, and all that. And, so being able to streamline your workflow is going to be something that's very important. So, definitely Bootstrap is really a good option and, something you may want to have under your tool belt. That being said, I always say you want to make sure you know what the code is doing. So don't just work with something and just leave it there. Inspect it, play with it, test it out, try to break it. If you're doing it on your local web server, you could break it as much as you want. You don't have to worry about it, in terms of being live on a production website. Because you're going to want to make sure that you understand the HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript, and how to fine-tune it whenever you're going to need to fine-tune it. So definitely check it out. Let me see. Ramsey Jordan says, how long would you say it takes to learn enough WordPress to start building for small business clients? All right, so if you are, give me a second. All right. So if you are looking to just put together a website as a WordPress consultant, you can learn, relatively fast. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that cater towards the how to build a WordPress-powered website type of functionality. So definitely you could check some of those out. And then you can also, practice on your own website. Get your website live and make sure it just works. You can test out the health of your installation. You can test out the optimization by using different tools. So if we go to Pingdom Tools over here, this is a great tool that I use, and I use that as a demonstration when I want to demonstrate, some form of testing. So this is PixemWeb, my website. So I will paste that in there, and I'm using a local server. I'm going to test the website itself. So some things you're going to want to check out is obviously the, the performance of it, the load time, and things of that nature. So give us one second. It says they currently have a bunch of other websites ahead of ours. So I'm going to abandon this now. It says there's 82 in front of me, so that's going to take a while. But basically, what you want to do is test out your website, make sure you don't have, many errors or things of that nature, get familiar with it, and then once you feel comfortable with it, then you can start creating, websites for clients and start off small. Like I tell people, don't take on more than you can handle. Obviously, there's a school of thought that you should always shoot for the stars and try to take on any work that you can get, but you also want to make sure that it's within your realm of capability, because you don't want to have a insecure website live. But you can definitely learn within a week or two, the basic fundamentals of WordPress, how to work with WordPress, how to install it on the server, how to work with some of the most popular themes, and how to properly configure some plugins. Now, this is as a WordPress consultant. That you can get started within a couple of weeks. It's ironically one of the easiest ways to start making money online. And it's actually the topic I'm going to be doing for one of my next videos is going to be how to make money with WordPress. So actually that video should be coming up really soon. I'm going to be rendering that one out. It's actually almost completed. So definitely take a look at that. For coding, it's going to be a different story. You're going to have to make sure that you're fully aware of what your code does, because you're going to find it's easy to get code, up online. Now, is the code secure? Is it optimized? Is it making too many database queries? That's going to take longer. You may want to devote a significant amount of time towards your coding practice before you start charging people for work. Now, the easier or the simpler the project is, the faster you can probably get started. But definitely, commit yourself towards that. All right, so let me see. Tax Action says I was having problems with footers and gave up in the end and just added a section at the bottom. This is the website. I'll take a look at it. I'm into the third week now sorting out the back-end stuff. Yeah, you're going to... What type of problems were you having with the footers? I mean, just let me know what they are. I'm going to grab the URL here. Let's see. If you don't mind, I'm taking a look at it. All right, so tax action, bookkeeping, business and finance. All right, so I see you have the footer section over here. You can inspect the elements. Seems like everything's looking good in terms of no errors coming up for JavaScript-related errors. You can view the page source. But let me know what type of issues you were having with the footer section so I can take a look at that. Let me know. So that's tax action bookkeeping. The site looks pretty good. It has a nice, hero image up here. Has a nice slider over here. Little information about what content's on the website. I see you using one of the examples that WordPress has when it has the content flowing in this manner. And that's pretty cool. All right, so just let me know what issues in particular you were having with the footer section. And then MD Anwar says, Python or JavaScript, which is the best for website development? Actually, this is a topic that Ricky spoke about in one of his latest videos. I don't know if he's still on, but he spoke about, Python and stuff like that, and, how it's a good general purpose programming language. But for web development, you're going to definitely want to focus on JavaScript and PHP, because that's going to be the predominant languages used. So if you go over here, I tell people, if you don't want to take my word for it, you can go to W3 Techs, look over here, and we can look at the technologies, and we can look at the server-side languages. So PHP has 83.3% market share, and that's going up. ASP has 13.6, Java, then static files, and then JavaScript is 0.4 as a server-side language. Now, obviously, JavaScript is everywhere, so definitely learn JavaScript. But as a server-side, JavaScript is this is where they stand currently. So you definitely want to learn maybe some React or Node.js, npm, things of that nature. But PHP is definitely going to be something I recommend learning. Tax action, Ramsey Jordan says JavaScript. Definitely JavaScript is, everywhere. If you want to just focus on one specific language, JavaScript is definitely going to be useful because every website uses it. So, but PHP is definitely a great option. Tax Action says, PixemWeb and a few other channels helped me build my website. I couldn't fix the 2 mixed content errors. I had to pay to get that fixed. The rest I did myself. All right, so the mixed content errors, you're talking about the HTTPS mixed content errors, right? So what you could do is I have some videos here that I believe dealt with the issue of HTTPS and how to set it up. Let me see. And there I show you how to deal with some of that. Now, some of it's going to be with code that you directly add. to your WP config file and your htaccess file. And then other options are going to be with plugins. But on my channel, somewhere right here, WordPress, HTTPS, and SSL. This one, take a look at that video. And I also have this advanced WordPress HTTP to HTTPS. I did 2 different videos that talk about the coding side and the plugin side. So if you're having issues with mixed content with HTTPS, definitely take a look at these, and that will help you out in terms of dealing with that issue. Let me see. Can we add custom tables into WordPress database? Yeah, you could. It's actually not that difficult if you start looking at. Let me see if I bring this over here. If you look at the database, you see we have 39 tables here. So by default, WordPress comes with 12 database tables, and then plugins can add additional tables. And the way to do that is by using some already coded WordPress functions and classes, and you can work with it to create different types of tables. So I'll do a different video on plugin development where we talk about the process of creating custom tables, because that's going to be a lot to cover. But pretty much you can see Yoast is already doing that. WooCommerce obviously adds some custom tables, and you can definitely add as many tables as you want. But first, make sure that you need those tables, because by default, you might find that WordPress already gives you some of the functionality you want in terms of database tables. All right, so let me see. No problem, tax action. I'm here to help. So, just let me know if you have any other issues. You can private message me if you don't want to put it up on the chat session here. But, just send me a message and I'll take a look. Now, Ramsey says the hardest part of learning all this is only having 24 hours in a day. That's absolutely correct. I mean, I'm one of those people that likes to do everything myself. So when I started learning how to code, I devoted a couple of hours a day, and I did it wrong. And I spoke about that in one of my other videos on how I became a web developer. And I did it, and I became a web developer in a very unorthodox fashion. So if we go over here, let me see. I did my video on that. Let me see, where is that? In this one right here. How I became a web developer and web designer. From suit and tie to t-shirts and jeans. So, yes, I'll show you right here. That's all right. So right there, that's Dana White from the UFC, and he's actually introducing me because I used to be. So that's from a different career that I had as a government official. I used to be in elected office. I was the majority leader of the New York City Council, and that's my life before web design and development. But in this video, I talk about how I became a web designer and developer, and you see some of the books I read, and I go over some of the stuff that I had to do in order to get started. And I started off wrong because what I did was I started reading the books as you would read any book in general. I would read it on the train. I would read it anywhere I was. And one thing I recommend, if you're going to learn how to code, always do it in front of a computer as much as you can, because you're going to want to practice while you're learning. That's the best way to learn this. And having only 24 hours in a day definitely is tough to deal with, because you could be up all night with this stuff. All right, so let me see. How long have we been up on this for? Almost 53 minutes at this point. So let me know what other questions you have. In terms of WordPress stuff, and I'll definitely, take a look at that. Let me see, what else do we have here? Any other questions? Can we add? Already dealt with that one. Took a look at that. Let me see. Already dealt with that question. All right, so, I think I've answered pretty much everybody's question here. So if you have any other questions in terms of WordPress, just let me know. And if you want to know more about my workflow, that's a good question to ask. Pretty much what I do is I always work on projects locally first. And what I do is I test it on my system first, and then I put it into a server that I have, a testing server that's live, and then I double check all the code and everything there, and then I hand over projects to my clients. So that's part of my workflow. I use, as I mentioned earlier in the live stream, I use the Visual Studio Code text editor. I use the Atom text editor. I use PHP Storm. It has a lot of cool functionality built into it. I code on my Windows computer. I custom built this PC, and I did that because I, formerly used my MacBook Pro, which I still have here, right there. And this is the older model, but it's still a great machine, and I upgraded the internals, but I wanted something more powerful than that, and I didn't want to buy the Mac Pro, which is outdated. So I built my custom PC, and I code now for Windows. And I also code with Linux. I have a Linux dedicated laptop as well. So, just learn your tools and get started that way. All right, so do we have any other questions? Before we start concluding this live stream, just want to make sure I covered everybody's questions here. Let me see. Again, I use local by Flywheel for my local server. Oh, that's another feature that I'm adding into this as well. You see this sidebar here? In DevWP, in the next version, it's going to have the sticky sidebar, which is pretty cool. It's if you want to keep something in focus, that's something that can be very helpful. Like if you have any if you go to my website here, go to the blog section, let's see, go to this one. If you have any of these advertisements or affiliate advertisements on the side, or anything you want to have focus in the sidebar, having a sticky sidebar is going to be helpful. So definitely, you may want to take a look at the next video. So definitely, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, because that should be coming up soon. Let me see. MD Anwar says, MacBook Pro or Windows, which is the best for WordPress and web development? All right, so since I just spoke a little bit about, my custom PC, it's a Windows 10 based PC, Windows 10 Pro. I code on Windows. I code with Mac OS as well, and I code with Linux. I use Ubuntu for some stuff, and I use Linux Mint as well. One thing I can tell you, when it comes to developing for WordPress, any of them is going to be fine, because you're not going to have any limitations as long as you configure your server to match the specs of your production server. So you're going to want to just make sure that if you're using PHP 7.1, that your local environment's also using 7.1. So if you go over here, I'm on local by Flywheel, go to site setup. You're going to want to make sure that you configure your local server to match the configuration of your production web server, or wherever your website's going to be. So that way, the PHP is going to be 100% compatible. You could also customize the MySQL version or the server version. So if you're not using Apache, if you're using Nginx, you can customize it with local by Flywheel here, or MEMP allows you to customize that as well. So Windows, Mac, Linux, they're all great for web design and development, especially for WordPress, because it's easy to get a local web server that matches your live environment. So definitely, if you want to, save some money, get a Windows-based PC or a Linux-based PC, and you could save money. But if you like the design of a Mac, then get a Mac. It's really, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Let me see, anything else? All right, so that looks to be it. I'm going to start wrapping this up. We've been on this for a while now. So let me see, has anybody had any issues with the audio or video? I know that some people have had issues or have mentioned issues in other videos I've seen on how to set up OBS with for YouTube live streaming. So if you've had any issues with the audio or the video, let me know so I can make sure my settings are good. I just want to make sure they're good because I know that sync settings are an issue. Ramsey says no issues. All right. So Brett has joined. I believe he's just joined. Have you done any tutorials involving adding Instagram feed to WordPress? Yes. Actually, that's one of my more popular videos. If we go over here, I've done a bunch of videos on, let me see. Done a bunch of videos, sort by most popular. Done a couple of videos on Instagram and WordPress. So this video here is how to upload to Instagram from your computer. So that's if you don't want to use your cell phone. This one is actually what answers your question, Instagram and WordPress, how to add an Instagram feed to a WordPress website. So that's that one. If you want to upload a picture to Instagram from your computer, instead of watching this one, watch this one over here. I remade the video because there were some cache issues that people run into, and they've had that issue just by following this video. This one talks about that and shows you how to get around it. So, definitely want to, check that out. But basically, it's very easy to do in order to upload an image to Instagram. You just use your developer tools. So that's something you may want to check out. But in terms of an Instagram feed, this video, is pretty cool. I think I might update that one as well because there's some other options out there also. Let me see. Audio and video has been great. Okay, great. I do have, some pretty fast internet here. I'm using Verizon Fios, and I have that gigabit connection. But you just never know. These settings, with software and everything can definitely sometimes cause issues. So let me see. All right, Brett says he'll check that out. All right, cool. So Instagram and WordPress, that's the one. And, if you want to upload to Instagram, that's also going to be helpful. All right, so let me know if you have any other questions. I probably have time for another question. I do have to head out soon. If you want to know a quick recap of me and who I am and how I operate, I'm a 100% full-time freelance WordPress designer and developer. I pretty much create all websites now with WordPress, and I either do some I use some pre-built themes and plugins, or I completely custom code the themes if needed and create some smaller custom plugins depending on the website that needs it. I work from home. I don't work at an agency. My office is in my home, so I get to work pretty much whenever I have time to work, which is like every day, and sometimes I spend too much time, in front of a computer and stuff. And that's something that I wanted to create a video about at another point. But, in terms of work ethic as a developer who works alone from home, that's something that, people have to focus on because your work-life balance is never going to be fully balanced as a freelancer. I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have a teenager, I have a preteen, and I have a 3-year-old. So it's always an adventure, in the house. And that's why, I enjoy being a freelancer who works from home. I'm in complete control of my time. And, I try to spend as much time with my family as possible. And being a freelancer allows me to do that. Let me see some other questions. How is the money being a full-time freelance WordPress dev? Isn't it too competitive? That's from I'll Know One. Thanks for joining the live stream. Yeah, it's definitely competitive out there. So, if you go to Google and you want to search for WordPress development or WordPress developers or agencies, look, WordPress is the most popular CMS out there. It's used by almost every website. So it's definitely competitive. So one thing I recommend people do, especially if they're starting off, is work locally. That's one thing I mentioned in one of my more recent videos. Let me see, date added newest. In one of these videos, I talk about freelancing as a web developer in 2018. Take a look at that video. It's a shorter one. It's only 13 minutes. It's not an hour long. But pretty much, what I talk about there is that one thing people forget is that yes, it's natural for us to want to work online. It's easy to jump on, Quora or LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But real world networking is something that a lot of people forget that they can do. And that can be a distinct advantage that you have because naturally people want to do business with people they know before they do business with people they don't know. So if you can get out there to local chamber of commerce events or other network type events, that's definitely going to be a great source of clientele for yourself. So get some business cards set up, with some basic information. It doesn't have to be all corporate looking. Make it, very simple. The name of your brand, name of your company, and your contact info. And start going to meetups, go to local events, and get to know people. And word of mouth can definitely help you out, especially in web design and development as a freelancer when you have to do everything yourself. Marketing is going to be something you have to learn a lot of because that's something I tell people learning how to code now. Do what Ricky Garcia is doing and definitely check out his channel because I'm subscribed to him over here. Subscribed to a lot of people, but take a look at Ricky Garcia. His channel over here, he's vlogging about his life as a web developer and how he's learned and stuff like that. Take a look at his channel. And, he's marketing now and building his following now. And he's already working professionally and he's already doing web dev stuff, but he's vlogging. So he's going to be growing as time goes by. But besides marketing online, get out there and meet people. All right, let me see. Yeah, Tax Action says, I'm sure there's a widget that does the Instagram feed to your site. Yes, the video that I mentioned also shows that. We go back over here. Let me go here. My channel. And videos. Most popular. All right, so that's there. And then now, how much can you charge as a WordPress consultant or developer and designer? Well, that varies based on your skill set and what you're capable of producing for somebody. So you can find some WordPress website setups for as low as $100. And you can also find websites that people set up for thousands of dollars. Typically, when I'm doing something custom, I'll charge a small business or medium-sized business anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. And if I'm doing something that is not as custom, but more of using a pre-built theme that I have, because I have my own arsenal of pre-built themes that I've already coded, and also some like frameworks like the Genesis framework. So if I'm using that or something I've already done, then I can lower the price. If I'm doing just a quick blogging type website, then I obviously charge less. So it depends on the type of website, but the money is great if you can get the clients. You just gotta get out there and hustle. All right. How is the Local by Flywheel give their amazing software free? So what's their benefits? All right. So why do they do it? Well, Local by Flywheel is actually a web hosting company. They purchased the software by Pressmatic, I believe, and now if you go to Flywheel, get Flywheel, they sell web hosting. So, if a person wants to have a website, they have a service for hosting. Now, this is something that I do as well. I do manage WordPress hosting, and I use servers like DigitalOcean and Linode, which are great, fast servers. But, they also, Flywheel also does some web hosting. So their benefit is if you're using their local web server for free, because it's completely free, you're getting familiar with their company. So it's about their marketing tactic. And it's perfectly fine. I haven't found any issues whatsoever with the software itself. It has live links. So when I'm working with a client's website, I could enable a live link right here. So if I wanted to share this link with anybody, I can share that link. Let's say I want to put it up if anybody wants to go to this link right now, you can actually see this website locally on my computer. And then that's a great way to demonstrate your work to your clients. And then when you're done, you could just disable that, and then nobody can see it. So now it's not visible. That link won't be active. See? All right. So that's one of the benefits that Local by Flywheel has. It's a really cool local web server. All right. So let me see. Understrap versus Underscores. Which one is best and which one you use? All right. So I don't use Understrap. Understrap is another development theme that uses underscores in the as its base model. So underscores you can get for free, and Understrap is also free, but underscores you can go here and you can just quickly get your starter theme. But the thing is, when you do this, you have to style it out. Understrap already comes, I believe, pre-styled with some Bootstrap already added to it. But if you want to do everything from scratch, or if you want to, really customize it, start off with underscores. And then if you want to learn how to code, check out my other videos on WordPress design and development. But Understrap is also really good. One thing I do recommend, especially if you're just starting off, download as many good free themes as you can and review the code. You could definitely learn a lot by what other experienced developers are doing. Don't just copy what other people are doing, though, because that's not really learning. But see how they're achieving a certain feature or a certain type of functionality or styling, and see how you can integrate something similar to your theme or plugin, and also, how can you possibly improve it, to make it better suited for your needs. Let me see. Do you have and WordPress development courses that you made, and where can I buy it? Basically, if you go to my website here, you go to themes, learn to code with DevWP. So this is DevWP right here. And this is my WordPress theme development training theme that you can use in order to learn how to code. Now, to buy it, that's for Eva Pro, get DevWP. DevWP, I do sell all the code that you could download directly, that you can download and use alongside watching the videos, and it's just $10. And I sell that because I want people to, to be able to have access to the code, but also realize that there is an investment in learning. So whenever you're going to learn something, use as many free resources as you can, but also don't be afraid to invest a couple of bucks in terms of your learning experience. I find that people tend to value it more in that case. But, definitely check out DevWP if you want to learn. Let me see. All right, so I think I've pretty much covered everything. I have to start heading out. I am, as I mentioned, a freelancer, so I'm going to be picking up one of my kids from school. So definitely got to start heading out now. But just want to say thank you for joining the live stream. This is my first live stream on YouTube, and hopefully people found it helpful. If you have any ideas on other types of videos I should create, just leave them in the comment section after the video has been added to the actual video queue. So definitely thank you for watching the video. And if you have any ideas on anything else, just feel free to contact me. You can message me, or you can contact me via my website, PixemWeb.com. This is where you can get in touch with me, and or over here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Let me know if you want me to do more live videos, if this is helpful, or if I should just stick to doing more tutorial type videos. Is that more beneficial? Either way, let me know what type of content I should focus on. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Peace. Let me do my outro image, see how this works. Thanks for watching, and also don't forget to subscribe.